Hello, and today I am back with another philosophy video with a tiny microphone. And today I'll be talking about the storyline within the K-pop boy group Ateez and how it utilizes the differences between autonomy and heteronomy to push its message of the importance of creative freedom. A brief overview of the two philosophies I'll be talking about. Autonomy refers to individualism and the idea of self-governance, which was first thought of by Aristotle and his ideas of individualism. But it became more prevalent with Immanuel Kant and his ideas to protect his autonomy at the political level, and that each person had a right to any action that can coexist with the freedom of every other person, as well as that instead of being obedient to an externally imposed law or religious prospect, one should be obedient to one's own self-imposed law. As for heteronomy, it refers to the state or condition of being ruled, governed, or under the sway of another. Under heteronomy, the individual needs/wants to listen to others and follow the rules of a more enlightened person or people. Heteronomy is the main criticism of autonomy, and it was brought up by Emmanuel Levinas, who believed that autonomy was selfish and egotistical, and that we should all be open to the call and needs of others. Now, for the more confusing part of this, Ateez, their lore. Now, all of the lore within this is told through albums and music videos, and very little of it is confirmed as like canon stuff. But mostly I'll be staying away from like too theoretical stuff and like assumed information. But so the boy group Ateez is a 8-member boy group that the members are Hongjung, Songhwa, Yuno, Yosang, San, Mingi, Uyang, and Jongho. And within like their lore kind of thing, there is 2 worlds. There's World A and World Z. World A is where the boy group is originally from. They came together as like a group of kids who were all really troubled, had a lot of problems, but found a community through music and dancing. They like come together as this little community and they have a great time. But then they find this thing called the Chromer, and Yosang, he breaks it. And then they get transported to this world that's World Z. And within World Z is this place called Strickland, which is ruled by their leader, Z. That's what he's called. And within World Z, there's like, World Z is the exact opposite of World A. There's no music, no creativity, no art. Everyone is like these robots, and they just kind of all are there, you know? And yeah. And within Strickland is Ateez's World Z equivalents, which are called Holities, who created this rebel group to go against the rule of Z, and they're called the Black Pirates, which is important. Remember that. And so Ateez, they get transported to this world, and they meet Holities, and they're like, wow, you're really cool. And then they kind of get stuck in this area because they can't fix the Chromer. And so they get stuck in World Z, and then Holities disappear. And so with Holities being gone, they join the Black Pirates and basically try to save World Z. And for my analysis, I'm basically aligning Ateez, Holities, Black Pirates, that whole group, with autonomy, whereas heteronomy is going to be Z and Strickland. Now, for my analysis, I think some music videos and songs that really portray these roles well are Gorilla, Halazia, and Crazy Form. They're all songs and the music videos. They're all very good songs also. You should listen to them and watch them. First, we're going to start with Gorilla. Some lyrics I think that really show the Ateez's views on autonomy is disappearing emotion, expression is losing the light, laughter is controlled, only numbness left. I feel like this really describes how they're seeing the heteronomy within Strickland and how there like the lack of individualism within Strickland and people's just overall lack of autonomy. Another lyric would be with both ears covered, with both eyes covered, like a duplicated doll, can't live like that. Everyone raise your heads, face to face, look at the grayish world. It feels like this like call to action, like you're covering your ears, you're covering your eyes, you are all the same person. You're basically a robot and you can't live like that. You're not a person. And so you need to face the world as it is and understand what has happened to you basically. And then from our music video, mostly scenes, this scene where we see Hongjung on the big screen and he's in this like room and everybody's sitting in front of these screens and they're all staring straight ahead and they're all in the same white uniform and they're just, it's kind of robotic, kind of dystopian. And then another scene is Songhwa when he's standing in the elevator and doing his little song. He is standing in the elevator and there's all these posters in the back that have like, it says like join the rebellion, join the Black Pirates, stuff like that, and it has the like A circle and it has the Ateez symbol and all that stuff. And then at the chorus, it shows them in this radio room where they're like on air projecting like music, kind of like this, they're projecting the song, which is kind of this like rebellious rebel theme. And they're trying to reach all the people stuck within their like rooms. It's stuck within that first room we see Hongjung in. We see it as like out in these empty streets, like these speakers out in the empty streets. Then we see a scene of San running away from obviously somewhere he's broken into maybe, but he's being chased by people with guns for singing a song. That's kind of crazy. Then there is the iconic flag scene, which is very remnant of like Revolution era paintings of overtaking the poor government and just rebelling and becoming one type of person. And there is actually so much in this music video that I could talk about, but I don't want to get copyrighted for playing the entire thing. Like, I could go second by second and tell you everything that goes on in this music video, and I also have a time limit, so I can't do that. But we see a lot of like the A with like within a circle, which is also very remnant of like the anarchy symbol, which is notoriously anti-government and very pro self-governance. But that's Gorilla. For our next song, we have Halazia, which is a very different feel. It's very, I personally think it's set before Gorilla, pre them joining the Black Pirates, because it has a sadder feel. It has this more defeated, like, we don't know what's wrong, but we need to rise up, but we feel trapped and we cannot get out of this, and they're in this search for a savior. I feel that this song and the music video and such are set before Ateez joined Black Pirates and start rebelling, but around the same time that Ateez disappear, as we can see scenes of scarecrows in Ateez uniforms. And so it's kind of this like, they set it up to scare, like maybe the Ateez set it up to scare away the androids that are chasing them, but the Ateez aren't there anymore. As for lyrics, we have my first one is, oh no, everything has become barren. We all try, but we lose emotion. Getting used to the feeling of losing, getting paralyzed in shackled freedom. There's literally, like, they feel empty, they're lost, there's no sense of self, but that they've been, like, struck down multiple times, and they just cannot break free of this, like, control. And speaking of control, our next lyric is quite literally, no more, keep control, Halazia. No more, keep your soul, Halazia. No more, keep control, Halazia. Clear the darkness, oh Halazia. I think Halazia is referring to this sort of savior god that would go along with, like, Halateez, because it's Hala, but then you have this kind of, like, more of this praying to a figure or an idea. and that this figure represents freedom in and of itself. As for scenes in the music video, we obviously have the Ateez outfit on a scarecrow, which is surrounded by chained up speakers, almost like they're trying to control and lock down music in general. Then our next scene is Uyang. He's standing there and he has the Ateez hat, and he's like looking at it all sad and depressed, and like the world is collapsing behind him, like everything is falling apart because they cannot seem to hold on to any of their freedoms. Later at the chorus, we see that they're all like underground, feeling like trapped almost from the rest of the world, very secluded. They can't like escape from it. And then my last timestamp goes along with the savior god idea of, we see Songhwa during the chorus here, during the pre-chorus here, he's holding both like his hand up like this, and he's looking up almost as if he's like hoping something will help him and help them find freedom. And they chant Hallelujah again. Yeah. As for my last song, we come back to this whole rebel tease idea with Crazy Form. Crazy Form is definitely after both Gorilla and Hallelujah in terms of timeline, because it is set on the outskirts of Strickland, doing some black market stuff to really take down the government. Normal stuff, but they spend most of the music video just causing trouble, being loud, dancing, shooting up a poker lounge, driving cars into the sides of buildings, normal Ateez stuff. But it has a very different feel from Gorilla, as Gorilla is more this rise up sort of thing, whereas Crazy Form is taking action. Just be yourself. Just be disruptive. Be yourself. Be a person. Be real. That sort of idea. As for lyrics, I only have one, because it's more of a fun song rather than a lore type of song. But my lyric is, "Shake it off hard, I'm fire, just move however you want, we go up." It's just referencing, I feel, a lot of that idea of just be whoever you want to be yourself, be an individual, And as for some scenes to look at, there is Mingi. After he drives the car into the side of the building in the bar, he orders a drink and he sets the little anarchy flag in his drink, referencing once again the first music video I talked about. This next scene is important as it connects to later in the music video, but it's Songhwa. He's standing here and he's performing, he's singing, and he's having fun for this really dead crowd who's just kind of standing there watching him. But then a next scene is when we see Hongjung running around in this back alley. It flashes to like this news type of thing, and the news caption refers to them as the Black Pirates, and we can see Hongjung getting chased around by the police, and he jumps up at the car and they're shooting at him, but he's just having a great time. He's just being himself. And then this next scene refers back to Songhwa performing for the dead crowd. We see Songhwa and San getting arrested in those same exact outfits in that same area, which kind of implies that they got arrested for performing. Yeah. And then later in the music video, we see Yosang. He's spray painting the sides of buildings, and he spray paints "Be Free" all over the side of this building, which is so like breaking free from all the heteronomy going on. So much heteronomy going on. But that entire song, they just are talking about dancing, singing, being an individual, being a person, breaking free out of that like hollow shell of a person that you are. In the world of Ateez, Heteronomy is seen as this like big bad villain that needs to be defeated, because in this world it completely removed any sense of humanity from its people, whereas Autonomy is seen as this crazy form of identity that you need to break free of your heteronomy to become a person and to become autonomous. Of course, the storyline is still developing, so there's no like big ending where one defeats the other. But as it does in real life, you can't actually be fully autonomous with that. but you can't also fully give into heteronomy without losing any sense of individuality you have. Thank you so much for watching. Miss Jackson, I saw you during this video walking around. It was really awkward. But I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope I get an A. And you should definitely watch the 3 music videos in full and listen to the songs because they're bangers and I think you would like them. And if you're not Miss Jackson, my philosophy teacher, and you've gotten this far, thank you for watching. I know I'm not a pro philosopher, but I love Ateez, and we'll always talk about them. So, bye-bye. Thank you.